People are talking about the fact that the Suns and Timberwolves have reported being interested in acquiring Butler. It'd be interesting if he goes to the Timberwolves. Him and Tom Thibodeau would be reunited. What's the chance that that could happen?
That's an interesting dynamic because Tom Thibodeau is a big reason why Jimmy Butler is as good as he is. You know, he played him a lot of minutes, you know, when Butler started to rise and becoming one of the best, you know, two-way guys in the league. But Jimmy mentioned last year after a loss to the New York Knicks that, you know, we need to be coached harder by Fred Hoiberg. And that introduced those kind of maybe Butler isn't really listening to Hoiberg and, you know, maybe Hoiberg doesn't really have control of the locker room. Those are, you know, whole different kind of rumors. But when it comes to Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau, I think it's interesting because obviously Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best players in the league already. So if you put Jimmy Butler, a third-team All-NBA member, with Karl-Anthony Towns, you may have a nice building block there, especially with Andrew Wiggins potentially still in the fold, because the Bulls, during the draft process last year, they loved Chris Dunn. Now, Chris Dunn had an underwhelming year for Minnesota last year, but the Bulls really liked him. So maybe they could do business there. I'm not really sure. I think it's kind of a smokescreen right now, being that Tom Thibodeau, Gar Forman, and John Paxson really don't all get along. So, but it's an interesting dynamic to talk about.
Right, right. I mean, would they not trade with Thibodeau knowing that relationship and the dynamic between his former team and the current coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves? Do you think that's going to factor in?
I think it will, because I think there was a lot of tension there throughout Thibodeau's tenure. And I'm not saying a deal couldn't get done, because obviously anything could happen in the NBA these days. But I think it would be kind of tense. It'd be a little awkward, to say the least.